Hi class, this is Miss Leisure. We are going to be doing the distance formula today. As you saw the pink sheet that I gave you to put at the top of your notes, it has a formula for the distance formula, which is the square root of x minus x squared plus the square root of y minus y squared. And then you also have the Pythagorean theorem triangle, which is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Some teachers will push the distance formula and others will push the Pythagorean theorem. This year, I'm going to use the Pythagorean theorem. In the past, I've always used the other. So I'm going to show you today using Pythagorean theorem, and then I'll briefly show you in class how to use the distance formula as well. Okay, here we go. Do you know the Pythagorean theorem? You'd better. You should have been doing it for the last couple of years. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. All right, so here you have the triangle. And first we need to make sure that we have a right triangle. And I put a little square down there, and so if that square is in that triangle, then you should know that yes, this is a right triangle. The second thing we need to do is label the sides. A and B are the sides of the right triangle, the 8 and the 12. The C is always the hypotenuse. So we label it. And it doesn't matter whether you have the 8 as the A or the 12 as the A, but the 8 and 12 are A and B. And then the C is always the hypotenuse. Always. It's opposite the right triangle, right angle. All right, so now we substitute in. Okay, 8 squared plus 12 squared equals c squared. We clean this up a little bit. 64 plus 144 equals c squared. 808 equals c squared. Whoa, it's not 808. All right, I'm going to fix that in just a second. There we go. So you had c squared. So to get rid of the c squared, to get rid of the square, you do the opposite with square rooting both sides. So we take the square root of 208. All right, so to take the square root of 208, we do our little tree. We search for our pairs, and we end up with 4 square roots of 13. And 4 square roots of 13 is somewhere between 12 and 16. How do I know that? Well, I want you just to think right now. Forget about the 4. Just look at the square root of 13. If you think about perfect square roots, you know the square root of 16 and you know the square root of 9. Okay? And square root of 13 is about halfway in between, or maybe a little closer to the 16. So the square root of 16 is 4. The square root of 9 is 3. So it's somewhere between 3 and 4. So I have the 4 out front times, maybe 3.5. 3.5, okay, which is more than 9, but less than 16, okay? Alrighty, so we know that that is somewhere around, 14 maybe. 4 times the square root of 13. Somewhere in that ballpark. Less than 16, but greater than 9. Moving on. All right, so C is the 4 square roots of 2. And you can always check and multiply that out, see what decimal you get, and make sure it's greater than 12 and 8. It has to be bigger than both of the other sides. We'll talk more about that later. Find the distance between the 2 points. We have the point 2,6 and the point -4,2. So this is what the distance formula is really meant for. When you have 2 points on the coordinate grid, how do you find the distance between those 2 points? So we're looking for that segment, the segment between these 2 points, okay? So to find the segment between those 2 points, we are going to first draw your slope triangle that you did last couple of years. All right, then you find the length of both sides by counting. So it's 8 and 6 for the cross. Now, then we need to label it, A and B. The 8 and the 6 are A and a B. The distance between the 2 points is your C, your hypotenuse. Okay, so now you're going to plug into the a squared plus b squared equals c squared. You should be able to do that. Go ahead and do that. You can pause. All right, so you're back. So when you plug that in, you should have 8 squared plus, or 6 squared plus 8 squared equals c squared. And that ends up giving you c equals 10. So the length of between those 2 points is 10, or 10 squares. Okay? Therefore, the length of the segment from 2, 6 and negative 4, 2 is 10 units. All righty. If you've got any questions, let me know in class tomorrow, please. All right, so I'm going to give you a problem. I want you to do it on your own. Find the distance between negative 8, 5 and 6, negative 4. So first you're going to draw a slope triangle, find the length of each side, substitute into a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and find your answer. Everybody pause the video now and see if you can simplify or get the answer. There you go. All right, everybody's back. Here we go. Let's see what you got. Let's see if you got the same thing I got. Ta-da. I get the square root of 177, which is 16.64. Oops, I meant to simplify that, not get the answer. So we'll do our tree. And 177 is 3 times 59. I don't believe you can break 59 down right now. It's just not coming to me. So we'll just leave it as c equals the square root of 177. And again, if you think about that one, let's see. 13 squared is 169. 14 squared is 196. So it's somewhere between 13 and 14. Okay, the answer. All right, so any questions? See me in class tomorrow. There we go. All righty. Thank you for visiting the Leisure Math channel. I'll see you in class. Have a good day.